Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today's episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by Acheron.
Normal sandwich isn't worth a 10? Yeah, well, a sandwich made totally of pickles is not worth a 9.8.
Books.
Okay?
They have a couple new books up on Kickstarter
Maybe
right
a little
now
controversial.
for the 5e campaign setting, which is themed as an alternate universe medieval Italy. I'm most excited about their monster manual, the Spaghetti Fantasy Bestiary, which in addition to containing over 100 new monsters for your next D&D game, contains rules and stats for cooking each monster and the stat benefits you gain by doing so. Check out their Kickstarter using the link in my bio.
Cooking each monster?
All right, let's get rolling with our roll for bread. 6, brioche. Brioche is a French
Dude, he's
bread that
farming
boasts
the
high
bread
butter
rolls
and high egg content. It's sweet and rides the line between bread and pastry. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 5, prosciutto. Prosciutto is a dry-cured ham product, appropriately from Italy. Don't worry, those white specks aren't mold. The
Pretty
white specks
good.
Are crystals formed by the
I have
amino
some
acid
prosciutto in the
tyrosine
fridge
during the aging process. Next up, let's roll for our cheese. 3, Gruyere. That's Gruyere 2 days in a row, but I'm not mad about that. I enjoy this Swiss
It's
cheese.
looking pretty good
And
so far.
I think we've got a pretty great sandwich going. French bread, Italian meats, and Swiss cheese. We're just jumping all around Europe today. All right, let's roll our roughage. 5 green pepper and 10 cantaloupe. All right, I don't
Wait,
mind
did you see that? He had a 1. He had a 1, and then the second one knocked it off. It's a 1, and then the second dice hits it. Boom, 5.
5 green pepper and 10 cantaloupe. All right, I don't mind green pepper. It'll be crunchy and add a little bit of bitterness and a little more complexity than just lettuce. Now, cantaloupe on the other hand,
I'm not sure about.
Not a fan of. Just not a big melon fan in general. It will bring a little sweetness to this sandwich, but also that
It was going
flavor
so
that I don't
well.
like. All right, let's hit it with some wild magic. 10 chips. The chips I have today are straight from St. Louis. Red Hot Riplets are a barbecue chip. I've had just their barbecue seasoning on the show here before, but not the chips themselves. So they are crunchy ruffle-style chips with a sweet and spicy barbecue flavoring. And last but not least, it's the
Not
D20
bad.
sauce roll. Here we go. 11 eggplant spread.
Yeah.
This eggplant spread, known as ikra in Slavic countries,
What the
also
f
sometimes
is
called
that?
eggplant caviar, is a spread made from eggplant, onion, bell pepper, tomato paste, and spices. I'm a fan of eggplant generally. I like to eat it roasted or in baba ganoush. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And today we're going to cut our sandwich using emotional damage. You peaked in high school. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Okay. Well, things really took a nosedive here in the second half. I'm not too sure about this one.
Nah, that's
Let's give
vile.
it a taste. Yeah, unfortunately the cantaloupe comes through quite a bit. And that ikra would probably be good on its own or on a different sandwich, but I'm not really feeling it on this one.
Like a
All things considered,
3.5?
I think this one gets a 4.1, and I'm going to call
Close.
it Panino al Dolore. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you again on Friday.
Dude, that's so sad. He had the perfect sandwich going for a little while. Feels bad. All right, again.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using this set of heat
A Flat's question. Room temperature water or cold water? Fridge temperature cold. Anything beyond that, like we're talking like ice cold, like I'm not a big fan of, unless I have a straw, then it's okay. Room temperature is fine, but I'm not like, can I get some room temperature water, please? I'd like the cold fridge water. But if I have room temperature water, I will drink it and I will not complain. It'll be fine. If you hand me warm water, what's wrong with you?
activated color-changing dice that I got as a gift at Gen Con. Thanks. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 2, Ezekiel bread. This grainy bread of biblical proportions can usually be found in
The reason why I say that is because I was talking to SK at BlizzCon, and SK told me that she likes warm water, like hot water, to drink it. And I was like, tea? And she's like, no. Like warm water. Is everything okay? Like
refrigerated section of your supermarket. And I've said this before, but I hope it's not prepared the biblically accurate way. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 9, leftovers. And my leftover selection for the day.
SK's tiny, she needs warmth? Yeah, from the photo we have, you might think she's tiny. She's like 5'8". She's not like that small.
Is spaghetti.
Wait, I wasn't paying attention. What?
Accurate way. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 9 leftovers.
Oh, Jesus.
And my leftover selection for the day is spaghetti.
Time to carbo load.
Now, since we used a vineyard marinara and not a meat sauce, we could actually end up with a vegetarian sandwich today. You know, I try really hard to have good representation on this show. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 5 Havarti. The Havarti I have today is actually dill Havarti, but there's nothing wrong with that. That dill should pair nicely with the zesty tomato sauce. And cheese and pasta is always a winning combination. And I guess we'll see about the Bible poop bread.
I love spaghetti. I love spaghetti
up,
too.
let's
It's
roll
one of
for
my favorite foods. But there's no way
5
this
green
ends
pepper
well.
And 8 broccoli. All right, we got 2
Like I said, there's no way this ends well.
vegetables, a little bit on the bitter side today, but they will add a little bit of a crunch element, which we're so far missing with this sandwich. I am worried about the structural integrity, though. The spaghetti was already pushing it, but trying to pile these up on top of it is not working out too well, but I guess we'll see what happens. Next up, let's hit it with a little wild magic. 12 Twix shakers. This is basically
Like I said,
pulverized
there's
Twix
no way
in a
this ends
seasoning
well.
form. And now we basically have the entire meal on a sandwich, main course, salad, rolls,
Like I
and
said,
dessert.
there's no way
And
this
last
ends
but
well.
not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 6 jalapeno relish. This stuff is pretty
Like I
tasty on a
said,
burger
there's
or a
no
hot
way this
dog.
ends
I
well.
don't think it'll be the worst thing here. I don't really know what would have been better, so I guess I'll take it. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's get it cut in
I already
half.
don't like reheated spaghetti. Like I never put whenever I make pasta, I always make just enough that I will eat it all. I will never have leftover pasta. Leftover pasta is really gross to me.
And let's take a look at that cross-section. That is something. That leftovers roll really is an all-or-nothing thing, huh? Sometimes you get an awesome brisket sandwich, and other times you get this.
Leftover eggs are worse.
Let's give
Agreed.
it a taste.
If you have leftover eggs, I'm severe. Like we need to have an intervention.
Well, first off, I'm relieved I can't really taste the Twix at all. It's a structural nightmare, but overall it doesn't taste that bad.
What are things
It's
at 3
not
months?
very exciting. There's better things that would pair with spaghetti, I think. But in the end, it could have been a lot worse. I'm glad this happened today and not Wednesday with that Italian sponsor, or you guys wouldn't have believed this wasn't rigged. Gonna go with a 4.6 today, and I'm gonna call this one Mom's Spaghetti. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know about that one, Chief. But you know, I would have probably given that like a 2. But he knows better than I.
Good afternoon,
Next.
D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these mini metal dice that were given to me as a gift at Gen Con. Thanks. Let's get started with our roll for bread. 6 brioche, starting slightly.
Dude, am I crazy, or has he rolled a 6 out of like 9 out of the last 10 of these for bread?
Sweet.
He's been
Seems
farming
safe
6s.
so far. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 2 dried beef. All right, let's
Oh, here we go
ahead and
again.
get our old meat Pringles out of the jar here.
The
The last
meat
time I got these on the show, a
Pringles.
lot of you suggested rinsing them off first, so I am going
What?
to do that this time.
Wait, what?
And see if they end up a little less salty. We're going to go ahead and toss those on our sandwich here, and we'll see if that ends up better than last time. All right, next up, let's roll for cheese. 4 steakhouse onion cheddar. All right, well, I'm happy with this roll. This cheese is delicious. It's nice and creamy. It tastes like French onion soup. Just really can't go
Ooh.
wrong there.
I'm not a big French onion soup guy, but
Next up, let's roll for...
wait, did I tell you guys at BlizzCon someone gave me a tech deck? I have a tech deck somewhere over in my room.
roughage. 1 pumpkin spice pickles and 4 ranch pickles.
Oh,
So you may have noticed that
no.
the roughage list is really stacked on pickles. That's because
Oh,
a family friend of ours made us several different varieties of
Oh, dude, the pickle people. You pickle people, man. The dude, you guys are
homemade
crazy.
pickles, including
said.
these pumpkin spice pickles. They're actually not that bad. The vinegar combining with the clove and nutmeg and those flavors is not too bad. Though I think I prefer them as snacking pickles rather than putting them on a sandwich.
Dude, I don't know how you guys would want to eat something out of something like this, you know?
rather
Like,
than
I don't know,
putting them on a
man.
sandwich, but we'll see how it goes. Now, ranch as a flavor for pickles seems a lot more straightforward. Still staying in the savory zone, and there's often dill in ranch anyway. I don't know what it is about this recipe in particular that made them turn out a little bit different texturally, but they're also not bad. Though I'm not sure about the combination of pumpkin spice and ranch together. Next up, let's roll our wild magic. 11, salt and pepper. The least wild magic there is, but it's a tribute to the early episodes of Roll for Sandwich. And last but not least is the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 4, white chocolate spread. I got this white chocolate spread from
Deserved. That pickle sandwich
the
up.
Dutch Market.
Pickle sandwich up.
The other week.
It's still gonna get rated higher than the spaghetti sandwich.
It's very thick, essentially frosting, so that's not the best roll. Might go with the pumpkin spice. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in.
This is the true test of pickle people. Will this still somehow get like a 6 or above because the pickles?
Hold it together, and let's go ahead and get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Deceptively normal looking. If I didn't know any better looking at this cross-section, I'd swear that we had salami and cheese with pickles and mayo. But we don't. Let's taste it. It is very sweet. Got a lot going on with the pickles there. The dried beef gets covered up pretty well. And honestly, the sweetness paired with the onion cheese isn't that bad. You get a little sweetness in the caramelized onions anyway. It's a weird one, not really worth repeating, but I've definitely had much worse. And that's why for this one, I'm sitting at a 4 today. And I'm going to call it the Mimic, because it looks like a normal sandwich. Have a great day, y'all.
Pass this round. Still a little high, though. Not gonna lie. Still a little high for a marshmallow sandwich. But this was still higher than the spaghetti one, right? This is still higher than the spaghetti sandwich. Just saying. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Pickle people of the food world are like the Taylor Swift fans of music, the Mercy mains of Overwatch. You don't want to with them. You just stay away from them. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't pick a fight. It's bad idea. Bad idea. They'll come for you. Why? What do you mean? Did you guys see the chat's reaction when I talked about the pickles, dude? They're like, how dare you speak badly of my pickles?
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today's episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by Dietz & Watson. Let's see what kind of sandwich we can create using the meats and cheeses they've provided. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 3, baguette. All right, so my plan for this one is to essentially give it the Jimmy John's treatment. That is to slice it open and take out some of the interior bread.
I'm glad he's farming those sponsors, though.
We've had mini sub buns on the show before, but this might be the actual first full-size sub we've had on the show. Let's roll for main. 12, roll twice. Ooh. All right, rolling for our 2 mains. 4, pastrami, and 10, pancetta. Pastrami is brined, then smoked beef brisket, and it is delicious. This pastrami is nicely marbled, and I'm excited to tear into it. Pancetta is salt-cured pork belly. Sliced thin like this, it's often eaten raw, but it's also common to cube it up, cook it, and use it in pastas. It'll add a nice salty flavor. Next up, let's roll for cheese.
Looks really good.
4, Peppadew pepper cheddar. Peppadew is the brand name for several different kinds of peppers cultivated in South Africa, but they are most famous for their sweet piquant peppers, which are what this creamy cheddar contains. Next up, let's roll for roughage.
Looking good so far.
8 jardinera and 12 rolled 2d12. All right, let's roll for that 12. 3 baby spinach and 5 sweet horseradish pickles. Another roll twice. We're really loading this sub up today. I'm not complaining. We got a lot of bread. It's nice to fill it with a lot of toppings. I'm using this sweet and spicy jardinera I've used a couple times before. Should go really nicely with our meats and pepper cheese. When we get some fresh baby spinach on here, get our vitamins for the day. All right, and then these sweet horseradish pickles. Usually I'm a dill pickle guy, but we've kind of got a sweet and spicy thing going on here. And I think the horseradish will be nice with the pastrami, so I am not complaining.
Bad about
Next
my
up,
pickles, then you talk bad about Mercy. What are you trying to do here, ravioli man?
With a little wild magic. 10, cilantro, lime, pepper salt. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's salt with cilantro and lime and red pepper.
I don't know about this one, but
last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. I need more mana. 18, white truffle hot sauce. Is it perfume? No, it's hot sauce. This hot
That
sauce
looks
is
good.
actually a little sweet for my liking. This bad
No, you're
boy
not getting
closed
predictions for
up. Get our
sandwich ratings.
toothpicks in to
What?
hold it together, and let's chop it in half. Now let's take a look at that cross section. Oh boy. This may be the biggest sandwich we've made so far. Double mains, 3 roughage. Let's taste it. Yeah, I mean, that's great. Would have preferred a different sauce, and I wish
bunch
the
of
bread
Gamba
was just a little
addicts, yeah.
softer. But all in all, this one's a winner.
look good.
Easily going to score this one a 9.8 today, and I'm going to call it the Tarrasque. Have a great
Damn.
one, y'all. See you for 200.
That one did actually look pretty good, though. That one, other than the horseradish pickles, maybe. Maybe.